In this course, we are going to learn .NET CRUD API. So what we are going to build? We are building post request, get all request, get by ID for a single product request, and then update product, and finally delete a product. So what are the project layers we are going to build in this application? First, this is our client. Client means it can be browser, Postman, Swagger, UI, mobile app, anywhere. It will send a request to the .NET application, and inside .NET application, it first goes to the controller layer where we get the HTTP request, we validate DTOs, we then return HTTP response. If you are not familiar with any of the terms in this layer, mostly DTOs, then no need to worry about that, because we are going to discuss about that part details later in this course. And after controller layer, that request goes to service layer where we are basically containing the basic business logics, and where we are mapping DTOs in model and call the repository which is DB context. After that, it goes to data layer, and in this data layer we basically translates our link to SQL queries, and then it goes to the SQL Server database where we do all the actions like saving a new data, query for a particular data, or query all the data, updating data, everything. Now in this workflow, what is the request response workflow? So first, client sends the request, which is basically a JSON object, and then it goes to the controller layer. Then controller receives all these object, and then it goes to service layer. From service layers, it moves to the DB context, and from DB context goes to service again. So in this two section, like one is sending to the service layer from controller. It means the request what we got from the client, that gets converted as per the DTO what we have written in our code, and that part goes to the service layer. And then after getting this verified or validated object from the DTO or controller, it sends that request to the DB context where we have the entity framework core, and which basically takes care of the request to the database tables. And after getting the response from this query to the database table, it again comes back to the service. Now service again maps the response with the product DTO, like how the response DTO we have written, and then it goes to the controller back again where it generates a response with the status code. If it is success, obviously it is 201 or 200. If it is not, then obviously it will give you some 400 or 500 response. And after that, it sends to the client. Client means the Postman or browser or anything from where the user sends the request.